Good morning. It's the Call Flo Radio Show, and you're on the air.
Good morning. Welcome to the Call Flo Radio Show. It is your Friday, May 15th edition. Of course, the number to call, 434-394-0924. Put it somewhere that you can reach it or see it or memorize it, whatever you want to do. But we are going to ask you to hold off on your calls for the first half of our show today, because we do have the illustrious Administrator of Prince Edward County, Mr. Doug Stanley, with us. Doug, good morning.
Good morning, Chris. How you doing?
I am doing okay for a Friday. How are you doing for a Friday?
I am doing okay for the father of a graduating senior. So it's a little bittersweet. This is number 2, and we'll be empty nesters after this year. But, you know, it's exciting times, and got to attend yesterday's senior showcase at Prince Edward County High School. And actually, we got to award 2 county COVID scholarships we gave out, and got to help with the chamber and also Interact Club with the Rotary Club.
What's the COVID scholarship?
So back in 2020, 21, during the middle of COVID, we were trying to encourage folks to get vaccinated. And for the students, the Board of Supervisors put up $5,000, but we got an additional $15,000 donated from local businesses and out-of-state alumni of Prince Edward County High School.
Wonderful.
So what we ended up doing is we drew 10 names from those students who had gotten vaccinated and entered their name into the pot, and we awarded 10 $2,000 scholarships. And they've been spread out over the last few years for different graduation dates, but we awarded 2 this year to Aaliyah Rachel's and Ava Tibbs, who are graduates this year. So
I know Ava.
For that.
I know Ava.
Yep.
She's a cute
and
girl.
Aaliyah is president of the class and a rock star. She, I think, won 2 state titles at state track this year. So she's going to Radford next year. So
well, good for
so
her.
Her as well. And Ava's going to Longwood. So excited to be able to support both of them in their college endeavors.
And they're staying in state, which is nice.
Staying in state, which is financially nice.
Yes, it is. So what else is going on?
Well, we had our Board of Supervisors meeting on May 12th. A lot of good things. First, we recognize Miss Chelsea George. She's a probation officer with the Piedmont Court Services Unit. She demonstrated a strong commitment to service, consistently stepping in to assist where needed across multiple localities. In addition, we recognize recent Hampton-Sydney College graduate Greg Como for his contributions as an intern with our department this spring. So it was exciting to recognize both of them for their contributions. We also had, for our community partner update this month, the Honorable Luther Cyphers, our senator, came and gave an update on the General Assembly session. We talked about, we had a request in for reimbursement funding of $2 million to the General Assembly for our Sandy River project, and also funding for the Mary E. Branch. The senator noted that neither one of those got through and got included in the budget, but he's willing to go back again next year and try again.
First, you don't succeed.
Try again.
Absolutely.
A lot of other things, a lot of bills, sometimes it's about what you want to get approved, and sometimes it's what you don't want to get approved. And there were a number of bills that could be onerous to local governments. One of them, the governor just vetoed, which was the collective bargaining for public employees. I support our local government employees wholeheartedly. I count myself as one, but collective bargaining could be dicey.
Okay, what is that now?
Well, basically
Explain it.
unionizing local employees.
Okay, that's what I figured.
But the problem is you could have like a public safety union, then you could have a teachers union,
and then
you have other employees, and you'd have to negotiate with all those different groups.
Yeah.
My philosophy is you take care of your employees and they won't leave. But they also have the ability to walk and leave to other jurisdictions around you if you're not treating them well. And we don't lose a lot of employees, which tells me we're doing a pretty good job. but people have the ability to vote with their feet. But
Now, if you were in one of these, this collective thing, and you went out to seek another job or whatever, does this type of whatever you call it, anyway, put jurisdiction? What am I trying to say? Jurisdiction limits on where you can get a job or anything like that?
It would not, but it really makes it more difficult. Each year you potentially would be, or let's say you did a 2 or 3 year agreement, that you'd be having to negotiate raises and benefits and things like that, which on the surface doesn't sound bad. But if you look at some of the states where this has occurred,
yes,
it's driven significantly the cost of services up, and forces counties to, you got to come up with revenue.
Yeah, and they can strike just as well as anybody else, right? Yeah,
so, it's the state had previously done it and allowed localities to kind of opt in, which means like a Fairfax or Prince William could say, we want to do this, but you wouldn't be required to do that. They were trying to make it mandatory. And I'm glad the governor pushed back. I think she listened, that especially at the rural counties in Virginia, it's not needed, and would be onerous and impactful. So, but we appreciate Senator Cypher's carrying a rural voice to Richmond.
of course.
Things like local control of things like solar and data centers, all that stuff is really important to us as a local government. We feel best, and I think Senator agrees, those decisions are best made at the local level by the politicians that they elect. So we appreciate him and listening to us.
Yeah, he's looking after us.
He is. Economic development, Chelsea White, our economic development and tourism director, gave an update on efforts in the community. And one of the things, and I talked about it later in my report, but we recently lost our deluxe cleaners here on 3rd
Oh,
Street.
we did?
We did. Their machine went down. I think it was like a $90,000 replacement cost, and they've elected not to move forward with that, so they're closing. So I happened to go. I had my armful of dry cleaning. I go in and we're not taking any more new stuff, and I had to pick up my stuff, and so we're calling around to cleaners in other Richmond, Woodlake, Vandermill, Appomattox, just trying to say, hey, would y'all be interested in opening a storefront in Farmville, Prince Edward? So, those are the types of things that we're doing. You may not see on a weekly basis, but certainly trying to look out for the area. But you got to think there's enough business around here to support a dry cleaner. So,
of course. Yeah, and Deluxe has been here forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
Staple of the community.
I know, very much
We're
so.
definitely going to miss them and their staff. And, like I said, hopefully somebody will move their business here. And it could be a storefront where they, pick up and drop off and take it to cleaners somewhere else. So that will work as well. We had a busy meeting again on Tuesday. We had, I think, 8 public hearings. The first one was adopting a separate personal property tax rate for vehicles owned or leased by active members of county volunteer fire and EMS. So if you are a volunteer firefighter and you meet the criteria, which we've adopted, as far as it's a point system, you get points for attending meetings, running calls, doing training, all those types of things, then you can qualify for the personal property rate for volunteers, which is set at 1 penny.
Oh,
so
wow.
rather than $4.50 per 100, it's 1 penny. So basically, you get your
That's a
majority
great
of your
incentive.
personal property. Absolutely, we're trying. It's a difficult time for volunteers, and this is a way to reward those that are giving, and hopefully encourage, especially the young folks out there that are trying to decide whether they give their time and donate it to become a volunteer firefighter or emergency medical technician. This may be that little push to help them do that. So we're excited. It's been done in other communities. We've done it in communities that I've worked in. It's been successful. It's not going to solve the problem that we have,
but
with
it's a step
volunteerism,
forward.
But it's a step forward.
Yes.
So, and we'll continue to look at other things that might help incentivize the system. We also we had a public hearing on our VDOT 6-year plan for the years 2027 to 2032. This is our local road construction program for roads that are already in the state system, that are graveled, and looking to upgrade them to pave them or tar and chip them, hard surface. So part of the plan that was adopted, the 3 roads that were approved, completed this past year were Rice Creek, Junction Canal, and Quail Crossing roads. This year, a portion of Loman Road will get paved about 1.2 miles. And then the rest of the program includes Featherfin Road, Bell Road, parts of Bell Road, about 3/10, about a little over a half mile of Schultz Mill Road, a little over a half mile of East Pamplin Road, and 4/10 of a mile of Mountain Creek Road. So hopefully next year we'll be able to add some roads to the plan. But unfortunately, due to increasing costs, we weren't able to add anything this year. But it's a process. If anybody is interested in knowing whether their road is on the list or potentially coming up on the list, they can certainly reach out to the county administrator's office. The board also had a public hearing on a proposed 3.8 megawatt solar project. It's a relatively small project off of Llama Road, which is off of Route 47, Thomas Jefferson Highway out in Pamplin. The board, by a 6-2 vote, approved that request. It was interesting. The farmer that owns the property was there and spoke, and he talked about this is a way that his family will be able to get some additional income, continue to farm the rest of the property, but keep it in their family name. And
do these companies, how did they work that with people who own and live on the property?
They basically lease the portion that they're using for the site, and they have a lease agreement, and when either they decide the lease is up or they're going to stop doing it, they have to remove the equipment. We have a bond in place to make sure that it happens, and the farmer is able to basically go back to farming at that point. So again, it's a benefit for them. It puts these smaller projects, they tie in directly to our local electric transmission grid. These aren't the big transmission lines. These are the local, like 3-phase power lines. So they'll benefit us locally.
Well, that's a good thing.
System.
Yeah.
And then we had a siting agreement, which is a part of that project. So as part of that, the company that's building it will donate $90,000 to the county for capital needs, which is a good thing. And then they'll pay, there's an agreement, they'll pay about $1,450 per megawatt, so multiplied by 3.8 per year moving forward. And there's some escalation clauses in that. So the board unanimously adopted that siting agreement. Next public hearing had to do with, we got a new ordinance committee this year that's tasked with reviewing all of the county's ordinances to make sure is everything up to date, and what can we maybe get rid of.
Yeah,
right?
No cussing on the street, right?
That's exactly. So the first one was erosion and sediment control, which we had to adopt because of some changes at the state level, but also the town of Farmville is taking over stormwater management. So erosion control and stormwater management in town will be handled by the town's public works department. The county will continue to do that outside of town limits. And so we adopted a new ordinance for that. We had a public hearing to repeal, always like these, repeal an ordinance we had on cemeteries that was adopted in 1941, which really got superseded when we adopted zoning. So we started regulating where you could put cemeteries, but then we adopted zoning probably 30 some years later that regulated cemeteries. So it's unneeded.
Right. It's redundant. I bet you it's very interesting what that committee is going to come across.
Yes, absolutely. And so, we're just taking it kind of chapter by chapter. The next one had to do with our civil emergencies. We kept that section, but we just had to make some changes to it to align with the state code. And then the last one, and this was another one where we just repealed it, dealt with health and sanitation, like dealing with restaurants. So the state has lots of regulations for restaurants and how they operate and food prep and all that stuff. So we were able to eliminate the county code and just now we'll follow the state code. So got rid of 2 sections of ordinance and updated 2. So that was a busy month. We also, as in connection with our personal property rate reduction for our volunteers, we adopted the policies that I was talking about as far as, you get points for going to an hour of training meeting or working a fundraiser, you get points for. So we adopted that policy, and that'll be evaluated each year and adjusted as necessary. But in essence, a volunteer has to put in 100 hours for the course of the year. I think an average is about 6 a month in order to qualify for the benefit. So I can't do it all in like 2 months. I have to be a participating volunteer throughout the year, and I have a threshold that I have to meet. So at least the rest of the public knows we're just not handing out the benefit. You have to earn it.
Of course.
And most of these folks are really earning it and then some. A few finance department things. We renewed our county health insurance. Like many agencies, we saw a pretty significant bump of about 23% this year. It was higher than the 10% we had gone in estimating with the budget. What we ended up doing was adopting a third tier to our insurance plan, high option, so that folks that maybe you're not someone who uses health insurance very often, you may take that plan to be able to save a little money for yourself and the family, and saves the county as well. So made some adjustments there. And then we've got the General Assembly this year is giving state-supported local government employees a bonus. So all the counties will be giving bonuses to their employees. This 2% that'll happen in June, but we have to have a public hearing associated with that. And then lastly, just a couple other budget transfers, including we got a reimbursement grant of $74,800 from the Tobacco Commission that's going to support our wayfinding signage project. That's where when you come into Prince Edward County, we're putting new county entrance signs up, but we'll also have some directional signage to direct you to businesses that, like Sandy River Outdoors, things that people from the outside will be looking for.
It's
to
more
come
of to aid the tourists. Right?
Absolutely. Aid the tourists to find where they're and eventually, the goal is to direct them downtown, and then the town will have a signage program where they will direct them in town to the locate, like to downtown and Greenfront and all the other places. So we're excited about that to happen as well. Just a few other things that I noted in my report to the board. Dominion Power is looking to build a 3,000 megawatt gas-fired power plant in northwest Cumberland County, and just it's pretty far as the crow flies from Prince Edward, but we may hear a little bit about that locally. So gave them that update. Our Planet Network broadband project, as of April 1st, we have a total of 1,263 people have been hooked up to the system. What I was most impressed with is that Planet Network, which is in the middle of this pretty significant expansion right now, they did 95 customer installs last month just in Prince Edward alone. So they're really ramping up with the staffing and being able to do that. And they've got a handful of roads that will be they'll be placing fiber on here in the next few weeks. So we're excited about that. Back on April 24th, Superintendent Chip Jones was able to host myself and members of the Board of Supervisors on a tour of the elementary school project. As you know, we've been working on that for the last couple of years. It'll be completed in the spring of 2027. It was great to tour the building. Even better to see the smiles on some of the kids' faces in their new digs, including the library and some of the space. So I know they've got a lot of work that's going to happen over this summer, and then they'll be still renovating some rooms and stuff as they wind down the project down to next spring.
It's hard to believe it's almost complete.
Yeah, it took so long to get started, right? I got here in 2020, and that was there was pictures of me and members of the board and school board with buckets catching water when the leaks in the roof, and going through the process and trying to get support locally and support with the school board and the board of supervisors, and eventually we worked through all that and got to the point where we're doing what we're doing today. So
It makes you feel really good to see that coming to fruition.
it does, and it makes me, I'm just, for me, it's touching when you see the kids' excitement within the facility. Our comprehensive plan, which we completed last year, will be recognized this July as the recipient of the Virginia chapter of the American Planning Association's 2026 Old Dominion Award for innovative approaches for communities with a population less than 100,000. Part of that has been kind of our partnership with Longwood University to bring their students to the table to find out about their input into the process. And it's really unique to be recognized with a statewide award on something like that. About 20% of our population are college students.
Yes.
About 4,000 are Longwood and 1,000 in Hampton City. They are residents of Prince Edward County. And a lot of times with projects like this, there's no effort made to try to get feedback from them. And certainly, part of it for us is, hey, why don't you stay after you graduate or work for our local school system? So part of that is just reaching out and having that conversation. What things are missing? Housing was one of the big items, but quality of life issues, things like that. But it's nice to be recognized with that. And last thing, I know Supervisor Jerry Townsend, next Thursday, the 21st of May at 6 p.m. at the Meharon Volunteer Fire Department, he has one of his town hall meetings. So if anybody's interested, not only hearing from me and Supervisor Townsend, but also the sheriff and Commonwealth Attorney and our school superintendent and VDOT will all be there to kind of answer questions. It's a good chance for the public to have a one-on-one with their local government officials.
I have something here. The Rotary Club of Farmville.
So we've had a busy month. We gave out our annual community grant, and this year, it's usually we go through and we pick and we select one, and they get usually $7,500, and then we'll have like a second and third place. This year we really awarded two. So the first one was to Better Days Southside, or Better Days Farmville. So Sarah Spear, we actually had Sarah Spears there yesterday to receive the check, an amount of $4,200 and $4,250, which is going to help them put in some racking system in their building to get the materials that are donated off the floor. If you know where their building is,
yes, I know where the building is.
It has a chance of flooding. That's the old Home of Faces. Yeah. So for them, it's really important to be able to get that stuff off the floor. So every time the water gets up on the river and it backs up into town, maybe not quite as much of an emergency. So we're extremely happy to support them. But then also, we gave $6,000 to the Southside Family YMCA. And I think next week we're going to do a check presentation to Sharon Steitler with YMCA. It's exciting because we're going to turn a room at the Y into a community room that folks, like if you have a local women's club and you need a place to meet, they would offer that space at no cost for people to come in and have a meeting space.
That's it.
The Cub Scouts could come.
That's interesting. How about bridge clubs?
Hey, you go talk to the Y. I'm sure they'll make her. But the other thing is, then, this from a county perspective, it's exciting for me. They're going to put in things like charging stations and things. So whenever we have a major power outage in the community, the YMCA always steps up and makes their facility available to non-members, to folks to come in and take a shower, charge their phone while they're waiting. And we really appreciate that partnership with the Y. And this will make that a little bit, folks are a little bit more comfortable and provide a little better service by being able to help renovate that room. And it's not just our funding. I know Lowe's has committed to providing flooring and some other materials and things for the project. So really, it's a community-wide project. Rotary is extremely excited to be part of it, and it'll pay dividends for the community moving forward.
Our Rotarians work hard.
We do.
And what's nice is that everything comes back into the community, surrounding.
And I will say, Rotary is just one of the organizations, the Lions as well, that there are the JCs. There are lots of groups in this community that work really hard to make Farmville, Prince Edward a better place to live. And, we're a much richer community because of it.
Yeah. Knights of Columbus, right? Yeah.
The Knights of Columbus, you've got your, I'm sure, veteran groups. And yes, there's lots of folks.
Yeah.
Masons, lots of groups.
We're
in the
very
community.
appreciative of all of them. We really are. So that's fantastic. All right. Anything closing that you want to
No,
add?
just, we're wrapping up the fiscal year at the end of June, and look forward to come back next month and update you on stuff going on in the community. And it's, again, exciting times to be part of Farmville, Prince Edward.
All right. Thank you so much. Congratulations on your son's graduation. And how's the grandbaby?
Well,
Grandbabies.
grandbaby number 1 turns 2 here in about a week.
Oh, no.
So
That's
he's
fantastic.
going, we had both of them here for my son graduated Southside Virginia Community College last weekend before high school grad, and had them both, and they really behave themselves well.
Well, that's
mom's
great.
doing a good job.
Good. Fantastic. All right. Well, we appreciate you. We appreciate you coming in and informing our listeners about what is going on in and around Prince Edward County. You're doing a great job, and with your staff and all. Oh, look.
That one picture.
Yes. So concentrated. That's fantastic.
Take
All
care,
right,
Chris.
Doug. Thank you so much. You take care of yourself, and we hope to see you next month.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. That was Doug Stanley, County Administrator for Prince Edward, and we always enjoy having him here behind the mic in the Francis E. Wood studio at WFLO AM. This is Chris with you. It's 8:35, so we need to get down to some business here at the bottom of the hour on the Call Flo Show, and that will include our weather forecast, which we have, and it is brought to you at this time by the Bank of Charlotte County.
Hello, I'm Katie Jones, loan officer here at the Bank of Charlotte County at our office in Farmville. I'm here to help you finance your commercial, agricultural, or personal projects. Whether you are growing your business or planning your next big step, let's turn your plans into progress. Give us a call at 434-391-1136 or stop by our office at 405 East 3rd Street in Farmville. We are the Bank of Charlotte County, invested in Southside Virginia, invested in you. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
All right, the forecast for Southside and Central Virginia today. Pretty seasonal temperatures, lots of sunshine with a high near 75. A northwest wind around 3 to 8 miles per hour. For tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 49, and things are going to start warming up. For Saturday, sunny with a high near 86. We'll have southwest winds around 5 to 8 miles per hour in the morning. Then for tomorrow night, partly cloudy with a low of 62. Now Sunday, sunny with a high near 92 degrees. Winds around 3 to 5 miles per hour from the southwest. For Sunday night, mostly clear with a low around 64. Monday, sunny with a high near 95. Monday night, clear with a low around 65. For Tuesday, we'll see sunny skies with a high near 93. And then for Tuesday night, mostly clear with a low 68. Your Wednesday, more of the same, sunny with a high near 93 degrees. Our current conditions, humidity is at 78%. Our winds are calm. Barometer holding steady at 30.03 inches. We have fair skies outside, and it is 53 degrees. That's your weather forecast brought to you by the Bank of Charlotte County, with branch locations in Phoenix, Charlotte Courthouse, Brookneal, and their loan office in downtown Farmville. Coming up, we have our birthdays and perhaps anniversaries for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, brought to you by Terry Atkins Wilson, PC.
The law office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, is located at 117 North Main Street in downtown Farmville. With deep roots in Farmville and our surrounding communities, Terry and her legal staff specialize in real estate law, wills and trusts, and business formations. Experience and professionalism are extended to every customer in every case. The needs and concerns of every customer are their primary focus. If you have legal needs, contact the law office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, for a consultation at 434-392-1422.
All right, it's time for Noah. We'll put him to work here. Good morning, Noah.
Good morning, Chris. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
Doing well. Not too bad.
Good.
Not too shabby.
Are you in the mood for telling us who's celebrating for 3 days in a row?
I sure am. All right.
Okay.
Let's just get right into it, right?
All right.
All right. Friday, the 15th, which is today, actually. I didn't even... Whoa. Crazy. Okay. Today we have Reagan Zook celebrating a birthday, as well as Chris Bozick. Bozick, he goes by. So those two are having birthdays. On Saturday, May 16th now, we have John Miller of Farmville. We also have Carolyn Brown of Farmville. And an anniversary to celebrate as well. That's Cornell and Elise Walker of Farmville celebrating a birthday. Tomorrow, we also have Noah Lehman celebrating a birthday, and Warren Reed as well. With
I know
Bland
Warren,
Reed.
yeah.
They're going to be all celebrating a birthday. I'm sorry, Warren Reed is not until Monday. My apologies.
Oh, that's okay.
But
Yeah.
So but otherwise that's all correct. And then for Sunday, your May 17th, we have Stephanie Carwile of Farmville celebrating, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, so
All right. Tell everybody out there how they can get those names to us.
they can call in 434-394-0924. They can also email us at birthdays@wflo.net, or they can go on our website under the on-air mentions page and submit them directly from our website. Chris, back to you.
And we wish everybody celebrating happy anniversary or birthday for those 3 days into the weekend. They're going to have nice weather if they decide to celebrate outside. For the right legal advice, visit Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, on Main Street in Farmville. And we'll get to chit-chatting in a minute, but we do have a call coming in. And we'll take this call. Good morning on the Call Flo Show.
Well, good morning, folks.
Good morning, Henry.
Hope all is well.
Yes, all is well. How about
Very
you?
Good. Well, I'm hanging in there.
Uh-huh.
I'm hanging in there.
Okay.
Maybe, obviously, my job's not quite through yet. I heard about a town that flooded, so all the women started wearing pumps.
That's so corny. It's funny. Okay.
This little story actually won the West Virginia Liars Contest back in the late 1950s. I remember reading it then. This guy had all his teeth pulled, and he bought a set of ordered a set of false teeth.
Mm-hmm.
So he wanted to be sure that they worked. They would, hold fast. So he decided to try them out in his hand. So he secured them there in his hand, and a couple hours later, he tried to take the teeth off his hand, but it wouldn't come. They were stuck really hard to his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And for the next 2 or 3 days, when he got ready to eat, he had to chew his food with his hand. And then
Okay, go ahead.
That little story won the West Virginia Liars contest.
Okay, I can see why.
Yeah, they used to have that. I don't know if they still do that or not. A little boy asked a little girl, "Are you the opposite sex or am I?" How about that? That could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Fella come home one late Friday and he saw his wife's shoes sitting in the floor, and there was a piece of paper with the letters TGIF, and this paper was laying over the shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to his wife, he says, "Thank God it's Friday, huh?" She said, "That's not what it means." He says, "What does it mean?" She said, "It means toe goes in first."
Okay. I like that.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
There was this young man in school. All of his grades were below sea level. So he joined the submarine service.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah. When he stopped the dog story, he cut the dog's tail off.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
The sky looked so blue, he tried to cheer it up. When they operated on the skunk, they got his last cent. But anyway, I digress. I have a story here that I don't think I've ever told it before. But when I was in the second grade at Dillman, that was in the early 1940s, and I recall something that haunted me for years and does so even today at times. When you see a situation and you can't do anything about it, it's really tough to see these things happen.
Mm-hmm.
It was a cold school day, second grade, cold school day, and the ground was frozen. There was some scattered snow that had been left on the ground, and our bus dropped us off at school. Then a mom who had 3 children, no husband, but she had 3 children. A mom with 3 children walked to school as usual because they lived about a half mile from school. And this particular day, the little boy came running to his classroom, but he had no shoes on, and the ground was icy. He had on a little thin jacket, and he wore an old floppy felt hat. It broke my heart. A little later, someone got him a pair of shoes, but this was 80 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it still pains me to remember that.
Mm. Yeah.
But that's a true story.
Well, I'm glad somebody, I'm glad somebody, was
Yeah,
generous
yeah,
enough to.
And I thought later the reason the little boy acted like he was running is because the ground was so icy and cold. It was freezing his feet, so he was jumping. He was like jogging.
Right, trying to keep his
Because
feet warm.
Ground
His
was
blood
so cold.
circulating, yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, if anybody'd like to share a story or ask questions or whatever, my number is 414-0096. And God willing, we'll talk to you on Monday. But in the meantime, keep me in your prayers.
Will do,
I
Henry.
appreciate it.
All right, take care. Bless
Thank
you.
All right.
All right, bye-bye.
God bless. Bye-bye.
All right, that was Henry.
The one and only Henry
Fulcher.
Fulcher. Very nice.
Yeah. but you feel, you have a certain compassion.
Yeah.
Well, you have to have compassion for, a homeless, not a fatherless, child, a single mother having to take care of 3 children in the early 40s too.
Yeah.
That was wartime and all that's, all
to
that
be a
stuff.
working parents, and it's tough times.
People gone,
It's a tough situation even
it is
today in
tough.
2026
Well,
when
it
that
is.
happens.
It is a tough situation. But anyway, you were telling me you had, our lines are open at 434-394-0924. This is the Call Flo Radio Show for this Friday, the 15th day of May. We're all the way through, halfway through the month of May.
We sure are.
But it's going to feel like June or July and August come Sunday.
Yeah, goodness. Now looking forward to that, Chris. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Sure thing. Yeah. I did have some weird dreams last night. Not scary. It was just very odd, very odd dreams. But so that was unique. What about you, Chris? Have you had any weird dreams recently?
I always have weird dreams.
Yeah.
It's just.
I love to look into those.
Yeah, well, I can't really recall the dreams that I had last night because I woke up. The alarm woke me up at 5:20, and I was snuggling with my dog Itchy. I fell back to sleep, and didn't wake up till 5:44. But I was having a whale of a good dream there, but I can't remember what it was because I was trying to get up and get going.
Sure.
So it will come to me later, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, that's how it always goes.
Yeah.
I had a dream, and it's weird. I don't really watch movies like these that often, or even think about this. But it was like Night of the Living Dead, Chris. You know what I'm talking about? Like there was the undead walking around, and it was funny because I had me and my cat Jeff, and it wasn't a panic, but it was more like we should probably find some high ground where we can chill out a little bit. It was a weird dream, and then I met somebody else, but it was just like. This weird apocalyptic time. And I was just kind of chilling with Jeff for the most part. But I remember I was like, we can't go outside because the dead are walking. It was the weirdest dream. I haven't had a dream like that in, I don't know how long. But yeah, it was just odd. I don't know what would have jogged that.
So no.
Yeah, weird dream, Chris. Anyways, that's all I got. And then I had another dream. It wasn't anything like that, but it was like it felt like I was doing taxes. Do you know what I mean? It just felt long, and every part of it felt so real. And I was like, man, this is exhausting. And then I woke up and I was like, oh, that was all a dream.
It was a dream.
Terrible.
No, so there are dreams that I have when I wake up and think, because they felt so real. That this is just a dream.
Yeah.
And so, but anyway, if any of our listeners, what were we talking about yesterday?
Yesterday we were talking about the concerns of AI. I think.
Oh yeah.
A little bit towards the tail end. Gambling.
Gambling, yes, yeah,
of course. The sports betting that has kind of gone rampant a bit. There's a lot of it. A lot of people are doing it. Anywhere from 18 and to however old you are, and you're still gambling, which is no big deal. I think there can be fun had with gambling. I just think people need to know their limits.
Yes, you absolutely need to know your limits, but it's like when you get addicted to a game or something like that. If you're playing on your game board, whatever it is, you just can't. You just can't get away from it. It's weird.
Yeah. I heard a survey that it was like most gamblers quit right before they're about to win big. No, I'm kidding. That's not true. That's a bad. No, but that is the common problem. Is like that bug of just like, oh, just one more. I'm gonna win my money all back.
One more chance. One more.
But
that's what they play off of.
Yeah.
That's who they prey on. Basically, is the guy who's always the optimist.
No, of course. Yeah.
Next time.
I got to ask you, Chris. have you ever been to a like Atlantic City or hit up any of these big casinos?
I have not been to a casino.
Oh man, Chris, I think you would.
It doesn't interest me.
I know.
It just really doesn't interest me.
I get it,
but I can see where it would be fun.
Yeah,
I know that Chris Brochon's mother.
Yeah.
Worked at a casino up in what's the one in around Baltimore or Maryland?
MGM?
No, maybe maybe some
MGM?
is MGM. Yeah, and I think she was a dealer.
Wow. See, that's cool. I mean, like I think casinos are like that's I don't know. Like take a trip there for a day and have a set limit. You know, I haven't personally been, so I can't speak for it myself. But I in my head, I'm like, that would be kind of fun, you know, especially if you're going with a group of people, you know. So it's just one of those things, that
I just figure that in the wee hours,
sure,
that there's somebody in there rigging the slot machines.
Sure,
you know?
Sure, yeah, jamming the machine to where it never.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah. I mean,
that stuff.
For sure. I mean, the casinos do. The house always wins. You know, it's all of that fun stuff. So, it's interesting. It's interesting, but it's still fun, even if it's rigged. You know, it's like going to the amusement park. You know, you're gonna have some fun. You're gonna hop on some rides. Same thing with the casino. You're gonna hop on some machines. Play a couple of rounds of blackjack, whatever your game is, and you're inevitably going to lose most of the money, that you started with.
Roulette?
Roulette? Yeah.
Is that where they spin
the ball?
I
think. Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't think they could really rig that.
No. But you never know.
You never know.
But Chris, any weekend plans? I know, like when I asked you on Wednesday, it kind of nothing really happening.
No,
yet,
nothing really happening. I'm just gonna do some stuff.
Sure.
The ivy is growing up some of my trees, my oak trees and my hickory trees and all. So what I'm going to do is spray myself really good with insect repellent and all that kind of stuff. Put on some rubber boots, some gloves, and go out and trim my trees.
Yes.
Get that ivy off my trees.
Sure.
So that's one thing I'm going to do. Inside, I probably will really clean out my bathroom where, I've got stuff in there that I don't need. And we'll do that.
That sounds
inside,
good.
Yeah.
We'll straighten it out. Like just those little areas. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is the first weekend where everything's already done. The car's clean. My room is organized somewhat. I'm going to have a full weekend starting on Friday.
For nothing but Noah.
I know.
That's good.
Fun Noah activities, right? Yeah. So
I'll probably grill something outdoors, maybe some ahi tuna or something like that.
That sounds nice. That sounds really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the grilling season.
Sure is. Yeah, I've been going to a friend of mine's place to participate in some casual grilling. It's been fun,
What do you mean by casual?
I mean casual in the sense of like, hey, do you have food in your fridge? Let's throw it on the grill, see what happens. That's what I mean by casual grilling. There's no plan. There's not like, yes, we grill ordinary things as well, like steaks or like, tuna would be a good example. But like, pierogies or like a friend of mine or somebody else put bananas on plantains, like a plantain chopped.
Plantain,
yeah,
yes.
so it's a little bit more starchy, and they put it on the grill to get a little searing.
I'll bet that is really good.
The plantain was not good? It wasn't good before it was on the grill, so it was really not good after.
Was it?
It was like overripe or too far gone. I think it was too ripe is what happened.
Yeah.
It was just hard.
It's funny how when you go into the store and you pick up a bunch of green bananas. I mean, they're just as green as they can be.
Yes.
You take them off of wherever you got them, and immediately they start turning yellow. I mean, by the time you get home, they're yellow. Time you want to eat them, they're brown.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird.
It's amazing how much they ripen up.
I have
how
bad
quickly.
luck with fruit. On average, I just never, it's either I get it too ripe, or too green. It's not ripened yet, and I either forget about it, it gets too ripe, it's trash or sometimes I buy unripened fruit and it never gets ripe.
It never gets ripe.
I mean, I have an avocado I bought from last year that's still hard, and I don't get it. That's not true, but you know what? I think you get the exaggeration that for weeks and weeks, I'm like, why is this? Yeah. I put it in different temperatures. I put it in a warm, like a dark, pantry door. Like I put it in the cabinets. It doesn't get ripe there. Then I take it out. I'm like, maybe it needs sunlight. I don't know. And put it in the fridge. It never gets ripe. And it stays hard, and then I'm like, I gotta eat this at some, or else it.
Well, it's funny because, you buy a loaf of bread, and it stays. I put mine in the refrigerator, just because I guess it'll stay fresher there. But 6 months later, I got the same loaf of bread in there, and it hasn't molded yet. So that tells you what's in the bread.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, same way with hamburger buns or something like that, you know. So you have to be cautious about stuff like that.
Sure do, Chris. You sure do. All right.
All right.
Yeah, so, we have one more minute left. If somebody wants to call in, last minute, 49 seconds.
Now it's 45 seconds.
The time is ticking, Chris.
Time is ticking. Yes, it is. All right.
I was gonna ask you, growing up, did your parents have a large clock that made that audible tick, tick?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have clocks in my house
that's still, yeah. I like it.
Tick that I wind, and they all. I try to make them not go off at the same time.
Mm-hmm. That's probably a good. It's a good thing.
Yeah. To kind of have them simultaneous.
Sure.
Yeah. So there's always something. There's always something going
Some
off
sort
in
of
my
sound
house.
And, and I like that. That's good. Yeah. It reminds me of my Nana had clocks. Like I feel like there's a classic sound. Just like growing up, going to like my grandparents' house was just that tick, like the loud tick tick. Mm-hmm. I kind of want one for my home, like a grandfather clock.
Yeah, I've got a grandfather clock.
That's a good
one.
Clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does the Winchester chimes and Westminster chimes, and one other, which I've got it on right now, but I can't remember what the name of the chimes are, but they're nice.
Wow.
It's nice. Puts out a nice sound.
That's great.
All right, speaking of nice sounds, we're going to have some music coming up for this the Friday morning show.
Okay.
And I guess you are going to be around a little bit later, like at 10 o'clock.
Oh, yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes,
all right. Thanks, everybody, for your calls, and thanks for listening. Like I said, keep it right here on WFLO.
WFLO AM 870 Farmville.